go in and into their office, super sick, like super sick office. They've got kind of the building itself is half office and half like living space, apartment building. So every time a neighbor of theirs ends up moving out, they just take over that space, knock a wall down, and call it a day, which is so cool. So you go into this place and it's like everything you think a downtown office of a dope consumer good brand run by young professionals would look like. It's like totally open space. They got these employees, everyone's super happy, and big windows and like all their products all over the place. Right now they just expanded into a new area that's gonna be like an area to showcase all their products so you can display them like trophies almost. It's really cool. And then they've got this whole other area that's a content creation section where they got the white paper they can pull down or brown or whatever and take all this make all this content, which is super cool. They've got sick desks and all this stuff like a pool table and ping pong and the whole keg machine and everything. It's like everything you think it would look like and you would want the company to look like, it looks like. And so he's walking me around this, showing me their spot, and he's so proud like to show me all this space. And it was so cool to see it not be like an arrogance, I feel like we're friends at this point because we've connected so many times. And he was just genuinely really proud to show me his office. If I had the same situation, I would be just as proud, and I hope it would come off the way he came off. Just genuinely proud of yourself and wanting to show somebody, but not in an arrogant way. It was so cool, just cool dudes, and his business partners the same way, I mean, these are the type of people I want to work with. These are the people I like. These are the kind of people that want to scale, they want to grow, they have a good head on their shoulders, they're running a company very well, and they're just genuinely nice people. You can tell they're gonna be good to work with. They're gonna want results, which is great because we're gonna give them to them, but they're also have a great vibe. So it's really cool, really great meeting to see the office. I met all the other partners. There was one other partner I hadn't met yet, so I met him, which was nice. Then we went to lunch with two of them. I invited the other partner who wasn't like quote unquote scheduled to go with us, but I said last minute, hey, let's go. He's like, sure, all right, why not? So it's the two partners, myself, and then my client who ended up making the intro at the beginning, if you recall, he joined us as well because he lives right downtown. So we all go to lunch, and I made sure right when we sat down, I flipped the card to our host. No one really saw that, just to make sure that I ended up picking everything up, of course. And we had a great lunch, man, just talking like fantasy football and like talking about all kinds of fun stuff, like their travels, all the trips they took. Because if you remember in the last video, I was saying the break in between meeting and the last time we met and this time was about golf. Oh, in between the golf event and now was like 2 months, or what felt like 2 months, I don't know. Everyone had all these trips. They had like a bunch of bachelor parties and weddings they were going on, traveling the world and stuff. So we heard about all those stories. And my client is, he's making a bunch of money because we're running his ads now. He's looking at buying other businesses. So we were talking about, all these different business ideas, because he'll talk to us about them because we would obviously run the ads for him if he buys a business. So he wants our opinion, like, hey, yeah, we could sell that, or nah, I don't know, that's not the best, or how are they making money, or those clicks are too cheap, or whatever it is. So we started rapping about that too. It's just a really easy conversation at lunch. And the whole time I'm like, man, I don't know, am I gonna not say anything about ads again, or am I gonna, because the first time it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right for me. If you remember back when we were talking about the first time we met, I didn't say anything. It just was a really nice meeting. And this one, it was like, it feels like it's time for me to ask for the business. I just didn't know if the vibe was right. They didn't open the door really. So I was kind of, by the end I hadn't really thought about it because it's such an easy conversation. But at the end I was like, oh man, I should probably ask for like to do an audit or something like that. So I'm like, how am I gonna do this? So we leave, and my client ends up leaving because his office is right there. So he heads into the office for a little while. And then I'm like, so you guys feeling ready for Q4? How are you looking on ads? And you guys all prepped up? They're like, oh yeah, big holiday planning meetings next week. We feel like we're pretty ready, but you can always be a little more prepared, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, that's the way it goes with everybody. So I'm like, so what's going on with Google? They just hired somebody in-house for Facebook, right? So and that person's apparently crushing it for them. So they're totally happy, and that's totally fine. But I'd love to work on their Google ads. So I'm like, what's going on with Google? How's it looking? They're like, whatever, spends a little bit down, ROI is a little bit down. I don't know, we're not really enthusiastic about our current agency anymore. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. So then I'm like, well, we can take a look if you want to give us access. We can tell you what we think or whatever. They're like, yeah, that's cool. That's no problem at all. I can get you access real quick, and you guys can tell us what you think. And then they start rapping about like branded search and non-branded search. Everybody hates spending money on branded search, by the way, and I don't blame you. It's so stupid to give Google $1 for something that you should naturally rank for, and your competitors buying your name and everything. It's just totally ridiculous. But we started rapping about that a little bit, and then started talking about shopping a little bit, and started talking about Q4, and so it ended with us kind of the conclusion. We started talking about Facebook a little bit too, but we ended the conversation with, we'll get an audit done, we'll tell you what we think. And then they're like, yeah, give us a real audit, because we're pretty much ready to bail on these guys. And I'm like, let's go. That's what I want to hear. And it was really good. I sent the request for the access like 30 minutes after the meeting, because it was Friday, and I knew if I waited any longer, we got out of the meeting, got back to the office at like 2:30. I knew if I waited and we went and like got a drink and talked to the guys or whatever about the whole thing, the request would go out at like 4, and then 4 o'clock on a Friday, things usually get pushed till Monday. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna send this email right now, because there's like still 3 hours or whatever in the day before everyone leaves, and they might be able to get me access. And sure enough, they got me access like an hour after I asked for it, which was fantastic. So we got access, and we're gonna take a look. I haven't really dug in yet, but I can't wait to see what this account's made of and see what we can do to show a lot of value in this audit. We'll see. Anyways, good news. It's a big win so far. Obviously, we don't have the business or anything right now, but we can't do anything without getting an audit done, and we wouldn't take a client on without doing an audit anyway. So one step closer to signing this bad boy up. All right, we'll see you in the next video.